Every great business idea has died in silence, not because it was a bad idea, but because the person behind it didn't know how to talk about it. Today, we're fixing that. Welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to tell your entrepreneurial story in a way that makes people lean in, not tune out. We'll cover how to craft your personal narrative, how to build a pitch that actually works, what investors are really listening for, how to handle tough questions, and the one mistake almost every first-time entrepreneur makes when they finally get their big moment. Let's get into it. Section 1. Why your story matters more than your idea. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. When investors or partners first hear a pitch, they're not primarily evaluating the business model. They're evaluating you. They're asking themselves one silent question: do I believe this person can actually pull this off? That's why your entrepreneurial story isn't a nice-to-have. It's the foundation of your entire pitch. Your story answers the question before anyone even asks it. It tells people who you are, why you care deeply about this problem, and why you are the right person to solve it. Think about it this way. Two people walk into a room with the exact same business idea. One person says, "I have a great app idea that helps people find local farmers markets." The other person says, "I grew up watching my grandfather drive 45 minutes each way just to find fresh produce because our neighborhood had nothing. I refuse to let that be someone else's story." Which pitch makes you feel something? Which person do you remember? Your story creates emotional connection, and emotional connection creates trust. Trust is what opens wallets, unlocks partnerships, and gets people excited to help you. So, before you build a single slide or rehearse a single number, ask yourself, what is the real reason I care about this problem? That answer is the beginning of your story. But knowing your story is only step one. The next question is, how do you actually structure it so it lands? Section 2. The structure of a compelling entrepreneurial narrative. Great entrepreneurial stories follow a structure that's been used in storytelling for thousands of years. It has three parts: the problem, the turning point, and the mission. First, the problem. You describe a world where something is broken, missing, or painful. This is where you pull your audience in. The more specific and vivid, the better. Don't say, "Small businesses struggle with marketing." Say, "My aunt ran a bakery for 12 years and spent every Sunday night stressed about how to get people through the door on Monday morning." Specificity is credibility. When you're specific, people believe you actually understand the problem. Second, the turning point. This is the moment you decided something had to change. Maybe it was a personal experience. Maybe it was a gap you spotted while working in an industry. Maybe it was a failure that taught you something nobody else knew. This moment gives your story momentum. It answers the question, why now, and why you? Third, the mission. This is where you connect your personal story to the bigger vision. Where are you trying to take this? What does the world look like if your business succeeds? This is how you make your story bigger than yourself, and that's what truly inspires people. Practice telling your story in under 2 minutes, using just these three parts. Once you can do that, you're ready for the pitch itself. But what exactly goes into a strong pitch? Section 3. Building your pitch. The core elements. A pitch is not a presentation. A pitch is a conversation you're leading. There's a big difference. Every strong entrepreneurial pitch covers 6 essential elements: the problem you're solving, your solution, the market size, meaning how many people actually have this problem, your business model, how you make money, your traction, what have you already proven, and your ask, what do you need and why? Let's break down 2 of these that people consistently get wrong. Market size is where a lot of first-timers make a rookie error. They say something like, "The global wellness industry is worth $500 billion, and we just need 1% of that." Investors hate that. 1% of a giant number tells them nothing about your actual customer. Instead, define your specific target customer. Estimate how many of them exist, and show what a realistic slice of that market looks like for you in year 1 or 2. Traction is the other one. If you have any customers, users, revenue, letters of intent, pilot programs, lead with it early. Traction is proof. It says your idea has already left your head and started touching the real world. Even small traction is powerful. It shows you move. Now that you know what goes into a pitch, there's something even more important than the content. It's the delivery. And there's one thing investors are listening for that most people never think about. Section 4. What investors are really listening for. Beyond the numbers and the slides, experienced investors are listening for three things: clarity, confidence, and coachability. Clarity means, can you explain what you do simply? If your explanation requires a 5-minute setup, that's a problem. A great test is the grandmother rule. Can you explain your business to someone with no background in your industry and have them immediately understand it? Confidence doesn't mean being loud or aggressive. It means you've done the work. You know your numbers, you know your customer, you've thought through the risks. Confidence comes from preparation, not personality. Coachability is the one most people overlook. Investors know they're not just betting on your idea. They're betting on how you'll respond when things go sideways, because things always go sideways. When an investor challenges one of your assumptions, your response reveals everything. If you get defensive, that's a red flag. If you listen, engage honestly, and show that you can hold your position while still being open to new information, that's a green flag. So how do you handle the hard questions in the room? That's exactly what we cover next. Section 5. Handling tough questions and the one mistake to avoid. Tough questions are not attacks. They're invitations to show how you think. The best entrepreneurs treat every hard question as a chance to build more trust. When someone challenges your revenue projections or your competitive advantage, never bluff. If you don't know, say so, and then explain how you plan to find out. That honesty is more impressive than a made-up answer that falls apart under follow-up. Now for the one mistake that kills more pitches than anything else. It's over-explaining. Entrepreneurs who have lived with their idea for months or years often forget that their audience is hearing it for the first time. They pile on features, backstory, and qualifications until the core message is buried. Less is more. Every sentence in your pitch should earn its place. Here's a useful exercise. After you write your pitch, cut 10% of it, then cut another 10%. What's left is probably your actual pitch. You now have the core tools to tell your story, build your pitch, and walk into any room with confidence. The question is, will you actually practice it? Drop a comment below with one word that describes the biggest challenge you face when talking about your business idea. I read every single one. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe because we've got more entrepreneurship content coming that you genuinely don't want to miss. See you in the next one.